What's going on, Wired fam? How's everybody doing this evening? You guys ready to go? I am. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Got some cool stuff to talk about tonight. I'm excited about it. I like cool stuff to talk about. We're gonna have a good show tonight. We're gonna talk about the spawn. So I learned a ton this last week, and I want to share it with you guys. Everything that I learned. So yes, I still learn. If I ever stop learning, guys, it's not going to be fun for me anymore. So I was able to learn a lot this last weekend, and I am super, 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 super excited to talk about it tonight because I think it's really, really good stuff, and I think you guys are going to get a lot out of it and learn a lot from it. That's what we're all about here at Wired for Crappie, is you guys learning and being able to take what you learn here to the lake, put it to use, and catch more fish. So that's what it's all about, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So thanks again for joining us. Again, if you would, drop me a hello when you get on. Let me know where you're from. I always like to see how far we're reaching, and I always like to say hello back to you guys when I see you guys get on. So please drop me a hello when you get on tonight, and I'll do my best to say hello back to you guys. So let's see. Let's start out with saying hello and good evening to some of the Wired fam. Got 922. What's up? Matthew Kofelt. Hello, hello. Ashley Coffee. What's up, my brother? Good evening, Wired fam. What's going on? Jimmy Pratt. Hello, Jimmy. What's going on, Jimmy? Guys, Jimmy got a new toy. I'll let Jimmy tell you guys what his new toy is if he wants to tell everybody what his new toy is. But Jimmy got a new toy. I hope you're enjoying your new toy, Jimmy. It's a pretty one, that's for sure. Daryl, what's up, Daryl? From Whitwell, Tennessee. What's going on, buddy? Tom A. from Pennsylvania. Hello, hello. Scott Winkler. What's up? David Moyer. David Moyer from Northport, Alabama. Alabama. Bet you like the color of that hat, don't you, David? It's a Ranger hat. It ain't an Alabama hat. Don't get carried away. Although I do have the Alabama red rocking down here with the discount codes tonight, guys. So discount codes. 10% off at Crappie Cove. Don't forget it. Wired. Use that code WIRED. 10% off at Fishing Specialties with that discount code WIRED. You can get all your live scope poles, transducer pole in general. So if you guys want to put a transducer on a pole, whether it be live scope or humminbird or Lowrance, you can put it on that Fishing Specialties pole. Stowaway mounts over here now. 10% off with Wired at Stowaway Mounts. Put your live scopes on or any unit on up front in the boat. And then 15% off Bonehead Tackle, Crappie 2022, guys. So take advantage of those discount codes. They're there for you guys to save some money, okay? Let's see who we got next. Dennis Graham. What's up? What's up? Evening, sir. Dang, look at all that red banner, red hat, red boat. You know I like that red, Josh. Come on now. You know I like my red. My Ranger red, mwah, is perfect. I love it. You can't do better than Ranger red. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. That's not fact. That's opinion, but Ranger red is where it's at. I'm just saying. Oh, I got snacks in the boat too. Look. Who doesn't like some Cheez-Its? Extra toasty Cheez-Its too. Look at that. Extra toasty. I got Cheez-Its in the boat. We may have to break into some Cheez-Its here in a little bit. I'm rocking the Coke. Red Coke, Josh. Come on, red. We're doing the red tonight, guys. It's a red theme. It's a red kind of evening. Ranger red. I like it. I like it. All right. Hey, listen. If you own a Red Ranger, it increases the cost $2,000 every time. Go look. You think I'm kidding? Go look. A Red Ranger brings $2,000 more than any other color. Mark my words. Go look. Tell me I'm wrong. All right. Let's see what else we got. David Smith from Crossville. What's going on? Tony Watson. Howdy from Knoxville. What's up, Tony? Josh would really, actually, Josh, you'd be really surprised. If I took my hoodie off, I'm cold. I'm like cold-blooded. If I took my hoodie off, bam! I got the red Wired for Crappie shirt on under the hoodie. So, hey, it's all kinds of red tonight, baby. All right. Pilot from Florida, what's going on? Jeff from West Virginia. Hello, hello. Uh, let's see. Johnny Lewis from Granbury, Missouri. What's going on? Steve Moody from Richmond, Kentucky. Hello, hello. Charlie Dudley from Jackson, Tennessee. What's up? Bid Kid 2020 from Missouri. Hello, hello. Nathan Wood from Wabash, Indiana. What's up, Nathan? Let's see. Who else we got? Sportsman's Paradise. What's going on from Shreveport, Louisiana? Greg in the house. What's going on, Greg? Steven from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Hello, hello. Lynn Schmidt from Southern Oklahoma. What's going on, Lynn? Big O says hello, Matt, and Wired Fan from Clarksville Lake, Georgia. That's my home state. You guys didn't know that. I was born in Georgia and raised there for a little bit, but yeah, it's my home state. That's where I originated from. All right, Krugs from Hayesville, North Carolina. What's going on? Andy Leonard from I like Kentucky Blue, but Alabama Red is better than Tennessee Orange. Hey, he's up now. He's up. Hey, he's up on the Tennessee Orange. Hey, I think we're gonna have a good year this year. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't want to talk too much because you know how that goes a lot of times. So I'm not gonna say a whole lot, but it's looking promising. It's looking promising. Cody Ayers, what's up from Elizabethton? Purple and gold, go Tigers. Ooh, nasty. All right, let's see. There she is. Hello, Heidi. What's going on? Hi there, Matt. How are you, Laura and the boys? Laura and the boys are doing great, Heidi. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. I wish I was able to spend more time with them lately, but it seems like as of late, I spend more time working or guiding or electronic stripping or working on a boat in the shop. So I hadn't got to spend a whole lot of time with them this last week or so, but I get to spend, my time when I can. So that's good. But nonetheless, I hadn't got to spend a whole lot of time with them lately because I've been so busy for you guys. But it's a lot of good stuff, and it's led me to tonight's conversation. So really, really looking forward to tonight's conversation. I know I keep saying that, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there eventually as soon as I level my computer up because it's literally crooked and it's driving me nuts. I need something to level her up with, and I don't have anything here. So it's absolutely driving me nuts that I'm not level on the screen because I'm sitting in the boat and you guys are on boat. We're going to level her up. Ew, that's worse. All right, hold up. We're going to get there. Promise. Everybody's going to get dizzy for a second. Why adjust? That's better. Yeah, that's better. We'll roll with that. So, Laura and the boys doing well. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate you for asking. Kenny E from Greenback. What's going on, Kenny? Johnny Coots from Ringgold, Georgia. What's up? Darren Lovelace from Chapel Hill. Hello, hello. Jimmy Johnson from Paris Island, South Carolina. I think I've been there before. Maybe once, I think. But Paris Island, what's going on? Home of the Sand Fleas. What's up, Jimmy? All right, Crappie Kev. Hey, Matt, I just bought a Helix 7 fish finder for the boat. What amp hour lithium battery would you recommend? Well, here's the thing about lithium right now, guys. Lithium is the bomb. All right, no doubt about it. I run Amped Outdoors. You guys obviously can see that right there. Amped Outdoors, sponsor for the channel, and that is what I run. But I was running them way before they decided to partner with the channel. I've run Amped Outdoors. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but they used to be Energized Outdoors and just had a name change. They didn't sell or anything like that. They just had a name change. So they used to be Energized Outdoors many, 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 many years ago. And I actually ran their batteries back then when they were energized. So been with that company for a long time, know them well, absolutely love their products. But unfortunately, right now, they can't get product just like anybody else can't get product. So the battery situation is pretty thin. I do think they got some 32 amp hour in, but they're not LifePo 4 batteries. Um, I like the LifePo 4 battery, the lithium, which is the 30 amp hour. You could run a 19 amp hour if all you're running is a Helix 7. You'd be all right with a 19. As long as you charge it each trip, you'd be fine with it. It'd run that unit for 8 hours, no problem. So, um, but again, they're hard to come by. So, amped outdoors would be the way I'd go, and I'd look for at least a 19, okay, amp hour. John. Hey, Matt. Hello from Mansfield, Ohio. What's going on, John? All right. So let's talk a little bit about what we're here to talk about tonight. And that's the spawn, right? So, uh, if you guys saw the thumbnail, we're talking about the spawn. Hope you liked my crappie in the bed because he was bedding. He's a bedding fish, right? So he was a little white to be a bedding fish, but he's a bedding fish. Steve Moody, thank you for the super sticker, my friend. I appreciate it very much. It's a blessing to me and this channel. Helps keep me on the water, making great content for you guys. So thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, if you don't know what a super sticker or a super chat is, it's right down below your comment section. There's a little dollar symbol. You can click on that. It's a way for you to donate to the channel and donate to me to help me stay on the water. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, it ain't cheap, as you know, to go to the lake anymore. So I actually seen something this week on Facebook where guy said it was now a status symbol if you could go fishing every weekend because of cost of fuel and cost of oil and the cost of everything that's went up. Um, they were saying now it's a status symbol if you get to go to the lake every weekend. So that was pretty funny. They had a funny meme about it anyway. But nonetheless, thank you very much. I'm getting off track, Steve. Thank you. I appreciate the super sticker, buddy. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So again, talking about the spawn. So first and foremost, let me talk about. Um, I guess it kind of started at our tournament. Kind of started. What's up, Rob Keeney? Kind of started at the East Tennessee Crappie Club Classic for me, where we completely missed that tournament. First of all, and then second of all, um, we at the end of the tournament just scratched our heads and we're like, okay, we're gonna pull back and punt. We're gonna see exactly what we did wrong here. So we pulled back and hold on a minute. Josh Sanders, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Nice to see you super chat. I'll match some of them tonight. Matt gives a lot of his time and money to bring us this content. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Guys, Josh is matching super chats. So I need some more super chats to get in Josh's pocket a little bit. He's going to match some. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it, buddy. All right. So again, we completely dropped it at the Loudon tournament. And my partner and I got back together a couple days later and said, all right, we sat down. We said, what did we do? What did we miss? Okay. Um, First and foremost, it was on Loudon, and we came out of the creek that we were fishing and went north. And when we went north, the north end of the lake is generally shallower than the south end of the lake on reservoirs. So if your body of water is man-made reservoir, typically speaking, the north end of that is shallower than the south end. Okay, so we went north. We fished. I guess it was probably about 3-4 hours north, and realized that hey, we hadn't caught any fat fish, big fat, not spawned out fish. So then we started paying a little bit of attention and saw a few fish that we caught were spawned out. And instead of it registering in our brain, we just kept thinking, we got to go catch bigger fish. We got to go catch bigger fish. We got to go catch bigger fish. Instead of it registering, we're catching spawned out fish. We're in the wrong section of lake. Let's go deeper. Let's go south, right? Because that deeper water doesn't warm up as quick. and that deeper water is going to hold some fish that hadn't spawned out yet. Okay. Bigger fish, more eggs, way more. Don't get your butt kicked at the end of the day. We were so geared in trying to catch bigger fish, we didn't even think what we were seeing right there in front of us. And it's so bad because I even made the comment during the day. I said, these fish are all spawned out. I said, these fish are spawned. This isn't good. And I even made that comment and it still didn't register in my brain. So, that kind of started it for me. Okay. And then, back to, if you saw the thumbnail, are all lakes the same? Okay. The next weekend, that was 2 weeks ago. This past weekend, I had the opportunity, I was blessed enough to have 3 guide trips. Okay. Well, I had 4 trips, but 3 trips were on, or 4 trips, 3 different lakes. Good Lord. I was able to fish 3 different lakes this weekend. I fished Watts Bar, Loudon, and Tellico. Okay. Watts Bar, Loudon, Tellico. Now, Watts Bar is about 45 minutes from Loudon. As far as north and south, as far as they lay in East Tennessee, north and south, they're pretty similar, really. One's not really geologically any further south than the other. They're pretty similar in the way they lay in East Tennessee. And Tellico's the same way. Okay. Tellico and Loudon are actually joined by a canal. So they're actually 2 different lakes, 2 different bodies of water, but there's a canal that joins the 2 on the south end. So you can actually go from one lake to the other by boat. All right. So Loudon, Watts Bar is the first lake I fished this weekend. And when we went to Watts Bar, we had 63 to 65 degree water temps, somewhere right there in that range. Okay. Started fishing, started shallow, just like I tell you guys all the time. Start shallow and work your way deeper. Well, we looked at some stuff in that 12 to 15 foot range. Then we kind of worked our way. That was really short because I looked at about 3 or 4 different spots and I was like, nope, zero zilch nada on that. I was like, okay, we'll punt. So we went out a little deeper, that 15 to 18 foot stuff. Seen a few, caught a few fish there, but really wasn't setting the world on fire. So then I said, all right, we're going deep. Forget this. We're going deep. We're done looking shallow. We're going to stay deep the rest of the day. We started looking at deep stuff. Okay. And when I say deep, I'm talking 25 plus. Okay. 20 plus for sure. There were some maybe 23, 22, but for the most part, it was 25 plus, and we're just absolutely wearing out the fish. And I'm talking big, fat female fish, full of eggs in 25 foot of water in April. Okay. So that was Watts Bar. Absolutely had a great day. We caught 70 fish, 60, 70 fish. Had just an absolute cooler full of great fish to send home with my customers and my clients. So they were really happy. I was really happy. Good day. Well, what really threw me for a loop, okay, is we left Watts Bar. I left Watts Bar, went straight to Fort Loudon for another trip. Okay. Get to Loudon, meet the clients, say our hellos, throw the boat in the lake, jump in the boat, off we go. Very difficult to switch gears from lake to lake the same day. Okay. So what do? Exact opposite of what I could tell you guys. Start shallow, work your way deep. Now, I caught him 2025 on Watts Bar. I'm fishing 2025 on Loudon. Wrong. Okay. Went to a few spots. Nothing. Started shallowing up. Took me about an hour and a half of my customer's time. I think we had 3 fish in the boat, keepers, before I really decided I've got to do something drastically different. I am floundering at this point. Okay. And I'm looking kind of stupid. So I knew where there was several very shallow spawning bays, and I'm talking entire bay, 4 to 5 foot, no more than that. And I thought, we're going there looking for fish. So we hit a shallow bay. we roll in, and this is no joke. And I mean, these fish we were catching on Watts Bar were white. I mean, there were some of them that didn't even have they were white crappie, didn't even have you couldn't even see the stripes on them because they were so white, because they were so deep. All right. Same day, that afternoon, Loudon, 4-foot spawning flat, start seeing fish, start throwing the bank, and just start wearing out fish left and right. Just one after the other, after the other, after the other. I mean, cast after cast after cast, aggressive fish, hit it, take the rod out of your hand, hit it so hard. I mean, just rip it right out of your hand. They were aggression strikes from male fish that were on bed. Okay. We started crawling 16th ounce jigs on the bottom and just absolutely wearing fish out that were protecting beds. Okay. So we're catching bedding fish. We're catching spawning fish. And I mean black. I mean just absolutely black fish. And I'll show you guys. Where's my phone? I took some pictures. Where's my phone? Hang on. I'll be right back. All right. So took some photos. So here is our fish, or here are some of our fish from Watts Bar. There's some of our fish from Watts Bar. Okay. All still white. Really not a whole lot of color to them. Deep, deep fish. Okay. Now, here are the fish we caught from Loudon, same day. Can you guys see that? I mean, look at the mouth on that fish. Absolutely as dark as they can get. A fish up there in the top. Just black. Spawning fish. Okay. So then, of course, I started looking at the water temp in that shallow bay. And, I almost spilled my drink. And the water temps in that bay were 72 degrees. Okay. On Loudon. So for me, it was very, very, very interesting. And I'm looking at it going, okay. And this is as far as weather is concerned. I mean, we had 82 degrees. It's absolutely beautiful. Bluebird skies. Water temps. We had consistent weather all week. There was no change in weather pattern. Pressure was good. No pressure changes for 3 or 4 days. The fish had time to just kind of relax. Absolutely beautiful day to fish. Okay. No doubt about it. But from one lake to another that are 45 minutes apart, okay, completely different pattern. Completely. And I guess part of the reason I'm telling you guys this and going through this is because, you guys watch me and you watch this channel, and I tell you guys kind of what's going on here in East Tennessee and the lake that I fished and what's going on certain lakes. I guess I'm telling you all this because there's a lot of YouTubers out there. There's a lot of people out there doing content and telling you guys fishing reports and all this. And I guess what I'm trying to say is if you hear a fishing report from somebody, it's not going to always be the case for your body of water. It's not always going to be replicated. You're not always going to be able to replicate that specific time of year on your lake. Okay. Every single lake's different. That's part of the reason I'm telling you guys this is because fish spawn at completely different times based on the body of water they're in, the location they're in the lake, and just all around conditions. So if somebody tells you, hey, we're catching them spawning on Douglas, you have no idea where on Douglas. If you go to the north end, they may be spawning on the south end and vice versa. So, take everything you hear, I guess, from your guides and your other fishermen and your YouTubers and everything with a grain of salt, because it's not always going to, you're not always going to be able to replicate that on your body of water. Okay. Um, so went went Saturday afternoon, Loudon, caught them spawning, shallow, absolute blast. Okay. Again, we didn't have any floats in the boat. We took 16th ounce jigs. Okay. And I'll show you guys exactly, or one of the baits that we used. So, best thing in the world for spawning crappie, okay, if you find fish on bed, okay, is a very, very bright jig head. All right, that is a pink jig head, fluorescent as it gets. That is a, I'm going to remember the name of that stump bug here in a minute. Slick. That is a slick stump bug, okay? As you can see, slick stump bug with a pink head. That's what I was using to catch those spawning fish. And that aggression strike, like I talked about, is those males defending their bed. When that pink head comes through there, it gets their attention and they will whack that jig. Absolutely just try to rip it out of your hand. Okay. Now, when I say crawl it across the bottom, all right, what I would typically do is I would pitch that out. We put that on a 6.5 foot ACC crappie stick is what I was throwing it on. You guys know I like them shorter rods. I like to cast, pitch, shoot docks. Put it on a 6.5 foot ACC crappie stick with a Fluger Try-On size 25 reel and Bonehead 12-pound braid in orange. Okay. Couple reasons I like Bonehead braid. All right. Straight to a jig head when I'm fishing that shallow is because when you're crawling bottom, you're going to get hung. All right. I want you guys to look at that hook right there. That hook, if I reach up here and I do this right here with my thumb and my finger, that is a light wire hook. Okay. As you can tell, I bent that hook out. Why do I like a light wire hook, especially on braid? Because I can open that jig up when I get hung and pull it off of a stump or rocks or whatever it is. It keeps me fishing. I don't have to, all I got to do is reach down there, push that back down. I'm ready to rock and roll. I throw it right back in. Okay. I don't have to retie jigs because I'm not breaking off. All right. So again, 12-pound braid, throwing that up on the bank. I mean, we were literally catching these fish out of 2 foot of water. All right. So I was throwing it up on the bank, letting it hit bottom, and then and it don't take the 2 seconds to hit bottom, but throwing it up on the bank and just slow rolling it back. All right. Just a slow, steady retrieve, keeping it close to the bottom. You don't want to be on bottom, but you want to keep it as close to the bottom as you possibly can without just dragging bottom. You don't literally want to drag bottom, but you want to keep it very close. Okay. Because those fish, when that pink head comes through their bed, they're going to whack it and they're going to hit it with a vengeance. It's a lot of fun. Okay. So that's how we caught them Saturday evening. And it was a blast, like I said. So, then Sunday, I had a trip on Teleco. I started shallow. So we went back in what I know is a spawning flat, and we started looking for spawning fish. Well, we did not find any. We fished for another hour, about an hour, no fish. So I said, okie dokie, we're going to punt. So we punted. So I thought, well, let's go look at brush in 15 foot of water. Nope. Let's go look at brush deep. Nope. So then an hour and a half went by, and I said, all right, let's go look on 10-foot brush. So we went back in, 10-foot brush, started whacking them. 10 foot. If I had to be in 10 to 12 foot of water, if I got shallower than 10 foot, there was nothing, no fish. If I got deeper than 12, no fish. But when we hit that 10 to 12 foot and I started hitting brush in 10 to 12 foot, every single pile that we went to in that depth range had fish on it. Every one. So it was really kind of, and the water temps down there were in that 68 degree range, that 67, 68. So again, kind of follows suit with what we know about the spawn. we know, spawn generally starts around 62 with blackfish, and then, tops out at about 72, 73, somewhere in that area. I think that some people will tell you they still spawn up to 74. But, if you think about it, that kind of follows suit with what I was seeing. Um, but it was just very odd to me that it was so just vastly different across three bodies of water that are all within, well, Loudon and Tellico touch each other, literally touch each other. I mean, there's water that mixes between those two lakes on the south end of them. So they're literally right there between one another. And Watts Bar is 45 minutes down the road, as the crow flies. And actually, all I had to do to be in Watts Bar was put in or lock through the dam there at Loudon, and I'm in Watts Bar. So literally all three bodies of water touch each other. And they were so vastly different. Okay. Just completely different bodies of water and completely different stages of spawn. So again, when you're on your lake, you've got to take your lake and break it down based on weather pattern, based on water conditions, based on water temperatures, and based on the current conditions that day, really, and try to figure out what depth those fish are going to be in. Does everybody always get it right? No. No, nobody ever always gets it right. We always make mistakes, just like we did at Loudon when we fished the tournament out there. We went north and should have went south. But you always learn. We always learn, and we always are able to remember something for the next trip. Okay, and that's what fishing's all about. It's about always continually learning and being able to get better with each trip. So again, it's kind of very, very weird, very fun. It was a lot of fun times on the water, and being able to see those different things, being able to fish. Because a lot of times I get to go. Obviously, I try to go every weekend because I got videos and things to make for you guys. But when I have so many trips on a weekend like that, it makes it very difficult for me to get out on my own. And I'm generally fishing the lake that the customer wants to go to. So I don't generally get to see multiple lakes in a weekend. But to be able to do that last weekend was absolute blast. It was so much fun. It was kind of nerve wracking to have to bounce around and figure out where all those fish are in different stages of the spawn, but it was fun. And I learned a lot. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Now, again, some more techniques that we could have used if I would have been equipped to use them, which I wasn't equipped on Loudon. Now, what did we do on Watts Bar? We fished brush, obviously. We pitched to fish. You guys have seen this jig about 1,500 times now. And the only place you can get them is at Crappie Cove. So if you want some, go to Crappie Cove's website and order them there. They're literally the only person in the country that has them. But this is what we threw on Watts Bar. We threw an 1/8 ounce head. Actually, I was using a quarter, but an 1/8 ounce head with the grasshopper stump bug. That's a pumpkin and chartreuse stump bug. We actually used a couple different colors. That morning, I think we used a purple and chartreuse, a black and chartreuse, and a white and chartreuse that morning just to try to figure out kind of what they were on. We got bit, but they weren't really hammering down on it. And we switched over to, actually, funny story. One of the guys that was with me, he's heard me talk about the pumpkin chartreuse stump bug about 100 times. And I threw that on. So one of the other guys that was with us, I put that on his rod and said, "Here, try this." And I think the second cast he hammered one, and it was a big one. I think it was a 2-pound plus fish, and pulled it in, slung it in the boat. He said, "What did he catch that on?" I said, "Don't you worry about it. Just go keep fishing." He said, "No, I know what he caught it on. He caught it on that secret weapon, that pumpkin chartreuse stump bug." I said, "Yeah, he did." I said, "I'm putting one on. He catches one more fish." And it was about 2 casts later, he caught another one. I was like, "Yep." So we all switched over to that pumpkin and chartreuse and just absolutely waylaid them after that. They were really on that. So But we used an 1/8 ounce or and a 1/4 ounce jig head to be able to get down there in the brush quickly to the fish, so that you weren't having to stand there and wait on the jig to fall, right? So that's what we used on Watch Bar. On Loudon, again, 16th ounce is what we used there, and we threw it and just drug it right across the bottom. That was that slick stump bug with pink head is what we used. We all had that on at one point. They also hit black and chartreuse with a chartreuse head, but that pink was probably by far the best. And then the one thing that I did not have that I wished I would have had, okay, so probably one of my favorite techniques, especially in the spring during the spawn, okay, is this. Hang on 1 second. I get it out. Probably one of my favorite techniques. And yes, I put some in the boat because I wasn't going to get stuck without them again. All right, is that. All right, and I need in here. All right, probably one of my favorite techniques. All right, for spawning fish would be one of these right there. Oh, a little hair fly. Oh, a little hair fly there with one of these Butterfingers. Anybody ever seen one of them orange crappie floats before? Okay. One of them styrofoam orange floats. You see them on the bank and in every tree on the bank. Anywhere people fish, you see these floats. All right. Float and fly, guys. Float and fly. Love to throw a float and fly to spawning fish. Absolutely love it. It is a blast and a great, great, great way to catch fish. Remember, guys, Josh Sanders said he's matching super chats tonight. So if you guys give a super chat, Josh Sanders is going to match it. Don't forget. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it, buddy. Try to spend some of Josh's money tonight. All right. So float and fly. That is probably one of my favorite or the favorite technique for catching spawning fish. And I really wish I would have had some floats in the boat, but I didn't, which was stupid of me. But I have them in the boat now and hadn't been able to get back to Loudon. I'm going to go back to Loudon this weekend and try that again and try to get a show with you guys or for you guys with spawning fish. I just hope it doesn't get too warm, but still should be some spawners in there, hopefully. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Daryl, what is the best way to fish on the edge of the main river? Fish on the edge of main river, fish in 40 foot of water, fish holding in 30 feet of water on structure and lots of current, no live scope. A buoy's your best friend. So get a buoy. Go over those fish with your down imaging. When you see those fish, put that buoy as close to those fish as you can, and then a heavy, heavy, heavy head. Okay, if they're 30 foot deep, you should be able to get right over top of them and vertical jig those fish. Get that rod right out the front of the boat, get right over top of them, right as close to that buoy as you can where you throw that buoy at. Work yourself around that buoy with a heavy, heavy head, 1/4 ounce head, right down below the boat. Try to get right on top of those fish. Or you can cast to them. So you can stay back off of them, put spot lock on or whatever, and cast to those fish and bring it by those fish, on a slow steady retrieve on a cast. All right. Jonathan Webb from Southern Illinois. What's going on? BA Fishing. Hello, hello. Let's see. Oh, hold on just a second. I'll come back. I will come back. Tony Watson, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. It's a blessing to this channel for sure. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Josh. Where you at, buddy? I'm going to call him out, guys. I'm going to call him out. All right. Oh, there he is. Thank you, Josh, for the super sticker. Josh is matching, guys. He's matching. Thank you very much, Tony and Josh. I appreciate you. All right. This could get really fun. This could get really fun. I'm just saying. All right, let's see. Water clarity, question mark. And those Watts Bar Crappie are whites. The second picks are black males. Whites and blacks go at different temps. You're correct. They do. Blacks go first. Whites go second. There were some whites. We caught whites too. Hang on just a second. We caught whites too. You are correct, sir. 100%. But we also caught spawning whitefish. So there, let me zoom in on them. There is fish what we caught. Whites and blacks, both. All right. Obviously, it's dark. That was after the trip. But we caught whites and blacks in that creek. Shallow fish. All marked up. We caught both, okay? So it wasn't just blacks. The picture I took was of a blackfish, yes, but we caught blacks and whites. But 100% correct. Blacks go first. Blacks generally go at 62, 63. That's when they start going. And then whites typically go 68 to 72, 74-ish, something like that. So, but we caught them all. We caught both species. Tom A. Thank you, Tom, for the super chat. First Northeast Ohio Crappie Club tournament last Sunday. Over 16 pounds for 8 fish. Thanks as always, Dan Elko. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. And congratulations to the winner of that event. That was a great event. I saw the reports for that event. There was a lot of 2-pound fish caught. So congratulations there. Josh, that match, baby. Thank you, Josh. Little late. Hey, y'all. What's going on, Larry? That's okay. Better late than never. You can catch up what you missed. You can catch up tomorrow because it's the beauty of YouTube. You can go watch it at any time, right? All right. Let's see. Back up here. Do I have any more questions? Oh, water clarity. Water clarity was great. The water clarity on Watts Bar was really good, actually. And the water clarity on Loudon was good too. You know, as far as clarity is concerned, it really was. Both lakes were very clear. I mean, like I said, we had good weather. We didn't have a whole lot of rain. Steady, stable weather. So there really wasn't a whole lot of rain or anything like that over the last or that week. So very good water clarity, very good conditions for sure. James, very good question, James. Do you think this year is different than most years? Yes, I do. I do think this year is different than most years. Hang on just one second because I think we've got Johnny Coots. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Thank you, bud. Do I think this year is different than most years? Yes, I do. Because I hang on, I got another one popped up. We got to go down. Where we at? Where we at? Josh, thank you, buddy. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. You were the man. Thank you, Josh. Josh on that match tonight, guys. All right, back to James. Told you this is going to get fun right here. All right, so do you think this year is different than most years? Yes, I do, and I'll tell you why. Because the cold weather in East Tennessee just drug out. My gosh, the cold fronts that we got this year were just it was absolutely miserable. I mean, the ACC tournament on April the 9th, it snowed. It snowed. I mean, we had sleet, snow, freezing rain. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. So, do I think it's different this year? Absolutely, I do. The water temperatures just have not and refuse to warm up. Normally, Loudon, you normally end up with spawning fish on Loudon in February. I mean, February, you'll get a wave of spawners. March, everybody spawns in the month of March. And then April, you get a few, and then you're done. I mean, this year, they're just now starting to get good. I mean, they're just now on Loudon. They're just now Loudon's normally always the first lake to spawn in East Tennessee because it's the water is dirtier, more microorganisms in Loudon. It generally heats up faster than and then so you normally Loudon's normally first. Chick is normally second. Um, Douglas is normally third on the lakes that I fish. I'm thinking Douglas. Um, then probably Cherokee. No, Douglas, then Tellico, then Cherokee, then Watts Bar is generally the last to spawn. But nonetheless, it's been a very weird year because lakes just refuse to warm up. They just didn't have the opportunity to warm up with the cold fronts and the consistent cold fronts that kept coming through our area. So, it's been a very cold spring, and I have a feeling, and I'm hoping that it doesn't happen, but I have a feeling that we're going to go from a non-existent spring to summer, straight into summer. Water's going to heat up like that, and we're going to miss some of the spawns. So I was very happy to see spawning fish on Loudon. Okay, very happy. I was extremely excited about it. And when we started catching spawning fish, I was getting giddy. I was getting like a little schoolgirl in the boat, jumping around and hooting and hollering. And I'm sure the two that I was with was just like, dude, chill. I was like, no, you don't understand. They're spawning. Ah! So I was extremely excited to find them spawning. But and then I started seeing some other posts from people that were starting to see some spawners too. So it's a lot of really cool stuff for sure, and a really fun way to fish. So yes, I do think it's messed up this year, but I think it's getting ready. The good thing is it's extended that spawn a little bit, and we get to continue to catch fish later in the year. For those that typically only catch crappie during the spawn or only fish during spawn, because we got a lot of guys that say, I'll crappie fish during the spawn, then I don't want to go chase them deep. But for those guys, they're going to get a little bit extra fishing time because they're, or they're going to get really frustrated because they weren't where they normally are in March. Okay. Derek just got off the lake ice fishing for crappie in northern Minnesota. We did pretty good. So there you go. I mean, Derek, are you guys normally still ice fishing this time of year, or have you guys seen that extended cooling period like we have? Lonnie Hall, hello, hello. Have you used the Bloodline minnows? So I haven't personally, but I've heard a lot of guys that have, and I guess I've heard some mixed reviews about them, but I hadn't personally used them. Quentin from Southern Illinois, glad to watch a show tonight. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. I'd love to answer them. Daryl Kreider, thumbs up, guys. Thank you. Smash that thumbs up, please. Kenneth Pippins from Missouri, what's going on? Does the Harming 102 SV, can you get the active captain on your phone? The Garmin. Oh, okay. Does the Garmin 102 SV, can you get the Active Captain on your phone? Yes, you can. Yeah. You can get Active Captain on your phone with any Garmin product. It's whether you get the helm feature or not. And the 102 SV, you should be able to get. Yes, you should be able to get the helm feature. Kenny Evans, Fort Loudon Lake level or Florida lake level. What are you talking about? FL lake level, and later spawn should be more successful spawn. Full lake level and later spawn should be more. Well, yes and no, Kenny. Okay. Um, so the lake levels are up. Yes. Okay. So in East Tennessee, they draw down the lakes, guys. They raise the lakes. They'll draw them down, raise them, draw them down, raise them, draw them down. During the spring, they change it all the time, and that generally has an effect on our spawn. Okay. Or our success rate on spawn. Okay. To answer, so I agree with you there, Kenny. That's where I agree with you. But I respectfully disagree as well. Later, again, what I'm afraid of is we're going to go from a very cool spring and very cool temperatures, water temperatures, to summer this quick instead of this quick. Okay. So we're not going to have this much of a spring with a gradual warming. We're going to have this much of a spring with a very rapid warming. And what's going to happen is these lakes are going to go in what I'm afraid is going to happen, not what's going to happen. What I'm afraid is going to happen, okay, is we're going to go from a 65-degree water temp to a 75-degree water temp in a week when we hit these highs in the 90s and sun all day, every day with no rain. I'm afraid we're going to go from not warm enough to spawn, or maybe just warm enough to spawn, to too warm for the eggs to survive. So the reason fish have to have that water temperature is not because that's just where they feel good about laying eggs or where they feel comfortable laying eggs. It's because that's the temperature eggs have to germinate and produce fry. Doesn't I'll say it again. The water temperature isn't because that's what makes the fish feel good. It's because that is what the eggs need to germinate and produce fry. Okay. So if we go from not warm enough or barely warm enough to spawn to too hot for the spawn, the eggs won't produce fry. They'll just get too hot and die. So that's what I'm afraid of. So I do agree with you. The higher lake levels, yes, that helps because they won't drop the lake and kill all the eggs. But later, I'm a little worried about the later part. Larry Merrick, as a plus with spawn late, the water is up. So yeah, same thing, Larry. I agree 100%. The water's up. That's much better. Much better. But I'm worried about the temperatures. I'm worried that those eggs won't have time to produce fry if it gets too hot. Okay. So that's my worry. Again, that's just a fear of mine. I don't know. Don't crucify me. I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm just saying that's a worry for me. Tony Watson, very good question. So that's the next technique that we're going to talk about is trolling in shallow water. Okay. So the one of the trips that I had Sunday, the guy wanted to learn to troll. He doesn't have live scope. He said, I want to learn to troll. I want to know I'm doing it right. Can you show me how you do it so I know I'm doing it right? I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. You want to troll? Let's roll. I love it. Let's go. It's like I need to know, how I'm running, where I'm running, speed. Show me, how to use this trolling motor and do this and do that. And I said, oh, love it. That's where I cut my teeth. And I said, what lake do you want to go to? I want to go to Tellico. I said, that's where I learned to crappie fish. I mean, and I trolled when I learned. The way I learned to crappie fish was longline trolling. He wanted to longline troll on Tellico. That's the lake and the technique that I learned to crappie fish with. So I'm like, shit, yeah. I was like, back to my roots, baby, grassroots. I love them. So let's go. So we went, and again, we trolled shallow because he wanted to learn how to troll shallow. Can you long line troll shallow? Yes, absolutely. Guys, you take a 32nd ounce jig and throw it out behind the boat. You can troll in 4 or 5 foot of water pretty easy. All right, no problem. What you have a hard time with longline trolling that shallow is your boat is spooking fish. So if I were to get that gentleman on with us tonight and ask him which rods did we catch most of our fish on, he's going to tell you the outside 12-foot rods is where we caught most of our fish. Well, why is that? Because our boat was spooking fish as we were moving down the lake. Okay. So how do you prevent that? Well, it's real simple. Okay. Preventing that, and you guys have seen these a million times on my channel, and you're going to see them again because the next video comes out is going to be with these. But planer boards. Okay. This is a planer board. What does a planer board do? Well, a planer board, on this side, it has an angle cut on the front of it. You guys can see that angle cut on the front. Okay. It pulls that bait out to the side of the boat. Now I can fish planer boards, and I can be 100 to 200 feet, anywhere in that range, in between the two outside boards. So if I have one all the way out over there and I have one all the way out over there, I can get well over 100 foot of separation. Easy. Now it's a lot of line out, but I can do it. And I've done it multiple times. A lot of times. I love pulling these. I've pulled them for years. But you put 3 foot of line out behind this board, and you can just about fish in any depth. You can fish anywhere your boat will go. Okay, without dragging bottom with a planer board. And this will absolutely catch fish, no doubt. And everybody thinks, well, if this is dragging through the water, it's pretty good size. I mean, there's my hand behind it. So pretty good size planer board. How does that drag in the water 3 foot in front of your jig and you still catch fish? I can't answer that question, but it works. Okay, I'm just telling you it works. I've had a lot of people that say, well, and I've asked that to a million people that I've had in my boat. What do you think is so good about these planer boards? Why do you think these planer boards work so well? Well, I know the answer to that. It's because it pulls the jig out to the side of the boat. And when the boat's traveling down through the lake and it's in shallow water, it spooks the fish. So if this is your boat and the fish spook and they come over to the side of your boat and they're sitting there letting your boat go by, and then this planer board comes by them with a jig on it, they react and they bite. Okay. So you're literally feeding your jigs with fish from the boat. Basically, it's like cattle. Okay. When you go and you push cattle and you're trying to get them pushed through a fence, you're pushing those cattle with a horse or with an ATV or truck or whatever it is, and you're pushing those cattle. You're driving this way and the fence is over here because you're trying to get those cows to move towards that fence. Move, get it? Move towards that fence. So I know I'm crazy, stupid, and insane, but move towards that fence. So anyway, you're doing the same thing with the boat. You're spooking those fish and you're directing those fish to the side where your planer boards are bringing your jigs. Okay, that's why they're so effective. But, as far as I've had one guy tell me one time, he said, well, I think it causes a disturbance on the water, and then it makes those fish look up, and then they see your jig. And I got to thinking about that, and I thought, could be something to that too. It's creating a wake or creating a disturbance on the surface. And a lot of times fish will look at that because they think, what is that? Is that fish feeding? Is that bait popping? Is that, they'll think, what is that? So nonetheless, really, really, really good tool for shallow water. Okay. Now, what do I put behind these? Big O, hold up. Big O, thank you for the super sticker, buddy. I appreciate it very much. It's a blessing to me in this channel, and I appreciate you for that very, very much, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what do you put behind these boards? Well, just the same thing you put when you're longline trolling, okay? You're longline trolling, you're using double 16ths or double 8s or double 32nds. Now, never put double eighths behind this because I'm normally fishing shallow water. But what I do run is I run double 16ths, okay? Or I'll run 1/16, depending on how shallow I'm running. If I'm running in like feet, where I'm talking like 2 feet, then I'll run a 16th or 2/32. If I'm running, um, 4 to 5 feet, then I'll do double 16ths, no problem. 2/3 of the line out behind this board at 0.8 mile an hour is what I generally troll these, 0.8 to 1 mile an hour. 2/3 of the line length is your depth. So if you got 6 foot of line out, you're running 4 foot deep. 2/3 is your depth, okay? With 2/16 ounce jigs. Josh Sanders, bam! Dang, Big O, making me go deep in the pockets. Josh had to match you, Big O. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you both, guys. Thank you very much. All right. So, again, 2/3 of the line length is the depth on that, 2/16 ounce jigs. All right. So, we get out there. We're trolling. He wants to learn how to troll. We're out there. We're doing our thing. We fish shallow. Didn't catch a whole lot shallow. Again, we were on Teleco. So I knew from the day before they were in that 10 to 12 foot range. So I pull out, I hit that 10-foot range, and we just start catching them. Not only did we start catching them, but we caught some giants for Teleco. I mean, Teleco is not known for big fish. It's known for a lot of fish. It's not known for big fish. But we caught some, I'm talking like some 175s, some solid 175s on Teleco, and they were huge. A couple blacks, couple whites, just some really, really, really good fish. So, and then the later it got, the better it got, which was even more interesting. So the later it got, the better it got. And there was actually a point where I was running, we were long lining, and I went to turn. And when I turn long lining, I generally speed up just to pull the baits up off the bottom so that they don't get hung up. Plus, as you turn, it helps straighten your jigs out a little bit so they don't get tangled when you're turning. Helps catch your jigs back up a little faster, keep them from getting tangled. That's a little trick that I know, or that I'll tell you. Speed up a little bit when you turn, okay? So there's one point I was turning, I was running 1-3, and we caught 2 fish on the outside rods, which were going the fastest because they're the outside rod. They were going the fastest when we were turning, and caught 2 fish at the same time at 1.3 mile an hour, which those outside rods were probably rolling more like 1.5, maybe 1.6, because they were on the outside and they were getting most of the pull. So I thought, you know what? We're going to make a pass and I'm going to speed up. So I went 1-2, and I think we caught 8 or 9 fish in that one pass. And I was like, something to this. Then I turned around, went back into the wind, did it again, caught him again. And as it got later, I noticed I was having to speed up more and more. It wasn't the speed that was the key. Okay. Can anybody guess what the key was? The speed helped, but what was the key? And why were those fish? Why did I have to speed up to catch those fish? Can anybody guess? I'll give y'all a minute to answer. Can anybody guess why I sped up and caught those fish? Eric got it right off the rip. Faster you go, higher the bait. So what we saw as it got later in the day was those fish began to move up in the water column. That's exactly right. Okay. Those fish began to move up in the water column. And we just started hammering them. As a matter of fact, I was very late getting home because we were catching fish. It got dark and we were still catching fish. Okay. And long story short, I won't go into detail, but the guy's motor messed up and it was a nightmare getting back. He wanted to fish out of his boat so I could show him how to long line out of his boat. So his motor messed up, took us forever to get back. Long story. But um, as it got later, those fish began to move up in the water column, and I had to speed up to get the baits up to those fish. Now, we've discussed this before and how fast a crappie can swim. Crappie can swim a whole heck of a lot faster than you can pull a bait away from them. Okay, with a trolling motor, they can. I think it's about 5 times as fast as your trolling motor will pull your boat. Okay, so don't be afraid to speed up a little bit, slow down a little bit, speed up a little bit, slow down a little bit. I like that zero 0.8 to 1 mile an hour is where I generally troll at, but don't be afraid. Speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. Now, if I would have had longer to fish, let's say I found that out in the morning and I wanted to keep catching fish, that's when I would pull those rods back in and switch over to 2/32, take the 2/16 off. Okay. But it was the last hour of light. We started catching a bunch of fish. I just sped up and it did the exact same thing. And the fish were just absolutely on fire. So got a lot of fish, a lot of big fish, had a good trip. It was a lot of fun. But nonetheless, things change throughout the day. Okay. It's never the same. It's never the same. And if I would have went to Loudon Saturday morning instead of Watts Bar, would I have found those fish shallow? That I don't know. I can tell you this weekend, I'd like to try to find out. I'd like to go in the morning and see if I can't catch some. And I may have to stay till the afternoon to get a show, but I'd like to try to go do it because that morning, um, I mean, the water temperature could have been down probably 68, 69, and it probably warmed up during the day, and those fish could have pushed up in there. But I don't think that's the case because those fish were really black. So for those fish to be that marked up, that painted up, that with their tuxedo on, right? Like you hear everybody say, they had to have been there for a little while. They didn't just move up in there. But nonetheless, I'm going to try it out this weekend, hopefully. And hopefully we'll be able to get a good spawning show. I'd love to float and fly. My gosh, I'd love to go float and fly. So we're going to probably break the 8-foot ACC crappie stick out of retirement because when I float and fly, I do like a little bit longer rod. But floating and flying that shallow, I could do it with a 6.5 footer. I might break the 8-footer out just because I love a little bit longer rod. Feeling that fish pull on a little longer rod's a lot of fun too. So we may try that. But um, let's see. The depth, the depth. Yep, 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 yep. Fish were shallower. Yep. All right, guys. We are to the end of the show tonight. Okay. We've been on a little over an hour. Typically keep them to an hour. But as always, I appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you for all the super chats tonight. Um, Josh, I appreciate you for matching super chats tonight. That was awesome, buddy. I appreciate it very, very much. But I appreciate each and every super chat that came in tonight. I appreciate each and every person that was on watching tonight. As always, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you can take it to your body of water, put it to use, and catch some fish. So that's what this is all about helping you become a better angler. So uh, hope you guys have a good one. Hope everybody has a good week. Josh, thank you for that last and final, buddy. Had fun with the matching. Unfortunately, have to bail early tonight. Maybe we'll do this again sometime when Big O isn't on. Yeah, Big O got you, didn't he? Thank you, Big O. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Everyone have a great week. As always, we will see you guys next week. See you on Loudon Saturday morning. Have a great week. Scott, if you see me, I will be shallow, my friend. Okay. I will be shallow. So, Scott, listen, if you see me on the lake, and for everyone that's watching tonight, if you guys see me on the lake, I always have decals in the boat. I always have the bonehead stump bugs in the boat. Stop by. I'll hook you up. You come and say hey to me as long as I'm not in a tournament. If I'm in a tournament, generally I'm not going to stop to talk. But as long as I'm not in a tournament and I'm out there on the water, fun fishing or recording for you guys, come over, say hey. I'll still say hey to you if I'm in a tournament, but I may tell you I'm fishing a tournament, and I hope you have a great day. But nonetheless, come see me. I always have, like I said, decals, baits, and things of such in the boat, and I'd love to give you guys some if you see me on the water. So It's a little treat for you and a little treat for me because I get to put a face with a name, say hello to you guys, may even put you on a video. So if you see me out there, Scott, come say hello and I'll hook you up. All right. So as always, God bless. We'll see you guys later. And thanks for watching.